Yo, what's good, people? It's the No More Black Tears podcast. I am Caesar C's. With me, I got.
Yeah, we back at the next light, man. It's Mr. DJ Rose, not beer, Rose, that is.
Yo, it's Vontae, man. We celebrate another week, man. Another week.
And we got the man formerly known as Juice Man.
What it do, what it do? We in the building. Let's go.
A lot of shit popping off this weekend. You know I'm excited, but let's go ahead and hop into the weekend sports, man. Rest in peace to Vontae Davis, man. Sad case, man. Bertizzi, what thoughts you got on that, man?
Yeah, they haven't released the cause of death yet. I know his brother, Bronny Davis, which I'm be honest, until TTK told me, I never even knew they was brothers, bro.
Me either.
I never knew
this
they was
week.
brothers.
Until this week.
So, but Bronny spoke on it, and we all know he's a very emotional guy. And he said that he thought the cause of death might have been when his brother got out of the sauna and just collapsed or something like that. They haven't released no details. All we know is that I think his wife or some woman came to the house, found him unresponsive, and he was pronounced dead. It's a sad situation, man. Vontae Davis, he wasn't a great player in the league, but he was a good player.
Decent.
You could tell, though, man, if you saw the episode of Hard Knocks, I feel like when he was with the Dolphins and got traded to the Colts, you could tell mentally he wasn't always there because he wanted to talk to his grandma, and it was like, well, you call grandma after we get done with this, but we let you know you got traded. His brother even spoke that Brennan even spoke that his brother had mental issues sometimes, and he was trying to battle them. Hopefully, when I talked to TDK, I said a lot of times when they don't want to release, information, it takes this long for them to find a reason why they died. It's because they, one, either suspect drugs was involved,
Steroids.
or two, they suspect it might have been a suicide. So in those two situations, they be, out of respect for the family, before they even leak anything to the public, they be want to try to confirm everything so that, people not speculating, oh, that he, off himself, or was he just ODing or whatever. But, rest in peace to Vontae Davis, man. He seemed like he was one of the good guys in the NFL. He never really had no issues off the field. And Bronny Davis was a hell of a player, man. So, hey, hopefully that, he get condolences and he can get through the situation.
Rose?
Yeah, my take on him, I remember when he quit and during at halftime when he was playing for the Bills, he said, yeah, man, I'm done. And his homeboy said, what do you mean you're done? What do you mean? Yeah, I'm done. I'm done, man. He said, what do you mean you're done? Yeah, man, I'm done with football, man. I'm retiring. So I just hope it wasn't a suicide because he's already a known quitter. So he already quit football once. I hope he ain't quit life too. So, but man, shouts out to Vernon Davis. He was a great tight end. And to this week, I didn't know they was brothers. They kept that on the hush hush, or I guess we just didn't know. And they kind of look alike a little bit, but yeah, man, it's a sad situation though. But what's your take on it?
Yeah, man. Rest in peace. He chose to walk away from the game. He didn't really get his time to really enjoy his retirement like that. But more details will come out later at a later point. Rest in peace, man. And next, just speaking of recklessness, we have Rashee Rice, man, with something stupid. Another car accident.
Yeah. So tell the people what happened with it.
Yeah, so apparently it's a video that shows a Lamborghini and a Corvette racing down the highway, weaving through traffic. They caused an accident. I want to say 2 to 4 people got injured. Nothing severe, but there was injuries involved. You see a group of people walking away from the accident, laughing, joking, as if it's nothing serious. The police basically had put out I ain't gonna say a warrant, but basically let it be known, hey, you need to come down to the sheriff's office so we can talk to you. For everything that we've been told by his lawyer, he's been helping out with the whole situation. The lawyer confirmed that Rashee Rice was driving this vehicle, and that his homeboy was driving the other vehicle, and they was racing each other. Man, I'm just gonna be real, man. A lot of us average people, and I consider myself an average person, we make mistakes or whatever, and we do dumb stuff. But I'm just gonna keep it real, man. It's like, yeah, you have choices, but when you got money like that, you got real big choices. And what I mean by that is like something as simple as just drunk driving. You're a millionaire. Hey, man, when you rich like that, you can hire a driver, man. You can literally have someone that you pay 24/7 to drive you everywhere you got to go. Like, you don't need to never get in your car and drive.
I hear you, but that's not true.
Bro, you can pay someone to drive you. And a lot of these NFL teams...
Okay, so I'm a millionaire. So you saying I got enough money right now to pay somebody to drive me everywhere I go?
Depending on how much you're trying to pay, it's just like you can pay someone to clean your house. Now, are you going to...
That's right. And what type I'm going to get to clean my house?
And that's the whole point. Like,
they better be
are
ass
you
naked
going to
on
get someone
them
that's
heels.
top notch? I mean, maybe not.
They don't
You're not
get
get
top
someone
notch.
that's elite, but you can get somebody. And a lot of these NFL teams, like when Chris Carter and Shannon Sharp and these ex-NFL players say, bro, they will provide you with these services. Like, some of these teams, because they really want to make sure they players, especially star players, stay out of trouble, they will pay for a driver for you.
So he was a star player?
Rasheed Rice? Yes.
He was their best wide receiver.
On that Chiefs team, I guarantee you, bro, if you was to go to the owner and Andy Reid and be like, hey, bro, this nigga got issues, we need to go and give him a personal driver.
They're not gonna do
the owner would have did that, man.
They wouldn't have did it.
Because they do that for other players, bro.
That's
like,
right.
Like Jerry Jones in Dallas, he's done things under the table for a lot of his players to try to keep his players out of trouble. Like, so it's just unfortunate that you're doing this, especially I know C said before the pod started, we just had a situation with Henry Ruggs, who was a promising receiver. We don't know if he would have ever lived up to that promise, but he was definitely talented, ran the fastest 40 in his draft class, had a situation. Now he's doing jail time, and he's probably never going to play in the NFL again.
What? Crashed the car, caught on fire, ended up killing somebody. So
yeah,
vehicular homicide.
Yeah, and he was under the influence at the time too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, hey, this is just a situation, man. You got to be smarter, man. Especially when you got an opportunity to, and I say this all the time on the podcast about this. When you got a chance to have generational wealth, the kind of money that doesn't just change your life, but can change multiple generations in your family life, you got to make decisions that's that of a business where it's like, I cannot damage this because my brothers, my sisters, my mom, my cousins, my grandparents, my kids and their kids can get back to the situation they was in before I got to this level. So it's unfortunate, man, but hopefully you see the other side.
Juice Man, any thoughts on that?
Man, it's a messed up situation. That's about it.
Rose?
Yeah, so he was the best wide receiver for the Chiefs.
But they didn't have no receivers, though.
And so Pat always got to go through something with his receivers. They lose Tyreek, then they had the bad season. He came on strong to be their best wide receiver.
They got the running back.
Man, so I don't understand why he ran off, but then left the weed in the car. And the amount of weed that he had is a felony in Texas. And it wasn't even that much. I think it was like 10 grams, but it's a felony in Texas or something. But it's like, you run off and leave the weed in the car. I'm like, where the weed man at? You're supposed to have a weed man, you're supposed to have a driver. You're supposed to have a gun man if you want to do all this reckless stuff.
Can't fit. It's only a 2-seater, man. So
he was in a Lambo.
His passenger should have been both.
The Lambo got 4 doors.
And what you just said, though, man, how you say you supposed to have a weed man? Hey, man, Juice Man, to answer your earlier question, if all 4 of us at this table right now and Rose becomes the one in the group to make the money, man, one of us supposed to drive this nigga, bruh. One of us supposed to be driving this nigga everywhere, bruh.
Even if that was the case, it's gonna be like the passenger in the car, y'all racing. We crashed. Hey, that was my weed. I was driving, or no, this was my weed. Such and such, this is my joint. You take the fall for it. Whatever.
They're not doing that shit.
Probably not. But I mean, yeah, it's just another situation, man. It's like, if you're gonna speed, nowhere fucking speed. Don't drive like a dumbass. Drive like a dumbass in the right areas. So I mean, it's constantly happens. People get money, get fast cars, they want to drive off. So I mean, we'll see what the fallout is. The Chiefs still gonna prevail. Ultimately, they're gonna do their moves. But moving on, man. Speaking of the NFL, man, we got Stefon Diggs traded to the Houston Texans. Rose, what's your thoughts on that, man?
I think it was a good trade. And then they tore up his contract. He had 3 years left on that contract. They tore it up, gave him a raise, and now he's gonna be a free agent this year. Next year. So he always has problems with, I guess, quarterbacks. He had problems with a quarterback in Minnesota. They say he had problems with the quarterback in Buffalo because he wasn't getting the ball enough. But Nico Collins was their number one, and he was balling last year. So now he's going to be number one because he deserves to be the number one. But CJ Stroud is not a person that just going to force the ball from what I saw last year. And he's not a person that just go force feed the ball to somebody. He go throw it to the open person. And hopefully CJ Stroud his head hasn't got too big and he's still humble to be so he doesn't get that sophomore fall like most sophomores do, in the NFL quarterbacks. But I think it makes their team better. True. But the thing about the Bills, they have no wide receivers now. They lost Gabe Davis. He was a touchdown machine. And now they don't have Diggs either. So it's like it's gonna be all on Josh Allen. So we're gonna really see what his worth is, man, if you ask me.
Cheesy.
And this just lets you know how much of a troublemaker he was. So for Stefon Diggs, who you can argue is a top 5 receiver, definitely in that top 7, top 8 conversation. All you got was a 2nd-round pick for 2015, so next year. A 5th-round pick for 2015, so next year. And the biggest thing you got that can help you this year now, this is a team that we expect to compete for a Super Bowl. The only thing you got for Stefon Diggs that can help you this season is a 6th-round pick. This trade lets you know we feel like we are better without him. Addition with subtraction.
True. Addition by subtraction.
Let's get him the fuck up out of this building.
True.
Because when we started winning games, guess what his numbers was? 25 yards, 40 yards, 30 yards, 25 yards. Like for those who had him in fantasy, and MGH was one of them, when they started winning games the second half of the season, Stefon Diggs was not a fucking factor, bro. And then you over here yelling at Josh Allen, the star quarterback, about giving you the ball.
Yeah, it was.
Man, do not take your ass to Houston and do that same thing. Because CJ Stroud doesn't seem like he's Josh Allen. He don't seem like he's going to take you yelling at him, bro. And on top of that, they don't need you at receiver. Because they got Tank Dell, and what was the other receiver's name?
Nico Collins.
Nico Collins. They got 2 young studs. One went over 1,000 yards, one went over 700. And he broke his leg, so he only played 11 games. So he would have went over 1,000 too. They got Dalton Schultz, a nice tight end. They don't need you, Stefon.
Yeah, they do.
And on top of that, no, they don't, because guess what the Texans did? He had 2 more years left on his contract after this season. They voided it and said, we will pay you more money just for this one season, so that next season you can be a free agent. Let me explain this to you how the NFL works. You don't do that for a player that you do not think is not a troublemaker and you think is an elite player.
I'm not saying
if they thought he was an elite player still and not a troublemaker at all, you like, bruh, we got him for 3-4 seasons. They said, fuck that. We just want you for this one season.
That's right.
And then you can go be a free agent.
That's right.
So what you need to do, Stefon Diggs, and I hope you hear this and you take this to heart, be on your fucking best behavior, dog.
Nah, dog.
So when you become a free agent next season,
I'm out of school.
Somebody can give you a contract, bruh. Because right now, the only teams that's going to sign you next season, if you do the same thing you did in Buffalo, is them bottom feeder teams. So you might get a $50 million contract, but you're going to be on a team that's terrible. Because a team like Baltimore should have traded for you. It's all these teams. A team like Dallas should have traded for you. Like, the fact that nobody wanted you, that should tell you something, dog.
I'm going to tell you what it is. Okay, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you, but you got to look at the grown man factor. And the grown man factor is just because they got Tyrone Diggs, the other young bucks going to be more free. They're going to be more free to make more passes because why? You got double team Diggs. You see what I'm saying? So that's how it goes, man. It is what it is. He coming in just to take the pressure off the cash you was just talking about so they can be better. So he's going, so yeah, you got to pay him more money. And what? Yeah, he will get picked up by another NFL team. Atlanta, I take him.
No, we don't need him. We already stacked that wide receiver.
Wait, who?
We stacked that wide receiver.
We don't got a fucking quarterback. This nigga tripping.
We got a quarterback.
What's his name?
It's your cousin.
Huh?
Your cousin Kurt.
Who? Perk? You mean Perk?
Perk.
Nah, but on a serious note, though, it's like when a team wipes their hands with you, it kind of says a lot. So it's like, you get that connotation with your name. It's like niggas is like, nah, I'd rather
They ain't gonna play with him. It's like OJ. What's that?
So I mean,
OBJ. What's that? That's his name, right?
Yeah, OBJ. Odell Beckham.
He's the OBJ.
So I mean, like he might just use this year to shut the fuck up and just stack his free agency rating. Make some money. But
so you think this nigga get the ball, he ain't want to fucking run down the fucking throats, bro?
He ain't gonna be. CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud is basically gonna be like, get open, nigga, get open.
If he's open and you pass the nigga the ball, what he gonna do? Show the fuck out.
As he should.
Is he gonna drop it?
They paying you for it.
He did in the playoffs.
He dropped it.
Yeah, costly.
Well, damn.
Costing the game. Well, not it was more than one play that cost you the game, but that was one of them.
Well, damn.
So yeah, moving on. No Bills. Hey, you did what you had to do. Houston.
But he's a top 5 receiver though.
And it's just like, is a top 5 worth that damn trouble? We'll see though. We'll see in this next season. Speaking of currently going on, we are speaking of the Final Four going on live right now. South Carolina just took down NC State.
Whoop, whoop,
Women,
whoop, whoop, whoop,
shout out to Don. We love you. Keep doing what you're doing. Cardoza drafted going in for the WNBA draft, man. We'll pass it off to Rose first, man. What you got, man?
Yeah, so South Carolina still undefeated. Shout out Columbia, South Carolina, right up the road. You know what I'm saying? I want to see UConn against South Carolina because the coaches, that's going to be the best game. The game plans are going to be on point. And I do not think Iowa is going to be able to stop the South Carolina girls. And I don't think and it's not a race thing, but Iowa they have a half a black person on their team. And that's it.
What is her name? Shekel or Shekel?
She's nice.
She's nice though.
She's nice,
good. Though.
She ain't nice. No, she ain't nice.
She's good, man.
Whoa.
Man, she was getting her lunch ate until Angel Reese hurt her ankle.
Whoa.
Yeah. But Caitlin, she go put up numbers. She go put up numbers. But the rest of her team, I don't see them competing with South Carolina. So that's why I want to see UConn. But I'll let Verzita tell his side. But he said something earlier that resonated with me, that it would be nice to see Iowa against South Carolina in the championship because it's just a story time. And I agree with that. That would be nice too. But as far as pure basketball, I want to see UConn and South Carolina. And on the men's side, I want to see NC State against UConn.
So who's on the men's side? It's 4 teams now?
Yes. They play tomorrow. So NC State plays Purdue. And UConn plays
Crimson Tide,
Alabama.
Yeah.
We sure about that?
Yeah, it's UConn versus
Alabama made 2 Final Four. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, so UConn they go tear them boys up.
Vertizi, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. For the Final Four, yeah, like Rose was hinting at, I want to see for basketball purpose, UConn and South Carolina makes the most sense. But for those who watch wrestling, it's WrestleMania weekend, and we've been hearing in the wrestling community, finish the story. The story I want to see finished in the Final Four for women's college basketball is South Carolina and Iowa. Let's remember, last season, when South Carolina was undefeated, they lost to Caitlin Clark. She knocked them out. And then also remember, Caitlin Clark went to the championship, lost to Angel Reese and them. So what did Caitlin Clark do this year? She came back, had a better season. What did South Carolina do? They came back with a whole new team, had an even more dominant season. Ran through teams in the tournament. Caitlin Clark beat Angel Reese. Now they both are in the Final Four. South Carolina punched their ticket to the championship. Caitlin Clark got a chance to punch her ticket to the championship, face South Carolina, and guess what? She wins the championship. Now she can validate herself in these conversations of
That's right.
one of the greatest female basketball players of all time. Because female basketball is way different than men's, where it's like you have to have a championship to be in that conversation. Because so many of these women who played college basketball had got multiple championships, from Maya Moore to Shell Shroops to Shell Miller. The list, Brianna Stewart, you can go on.
Candace
Parker. Like, it's so many women, they got so many championships. So she needs one. Then for Don Staley, you cannot have 2 back-to-back undefeated seasons. You cannot have the dominance that you've displayed with your team 2 years in a row and not bring the title home. And if she wins the championship, she can legitimately put herself in that conversation with Pat Summitt and Gino Aramena as the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of people already feel like that because what she's doing in this era of women's basketball with the parity we have. The parity, we got to remember that because at one point in time there was not parity in women's basketball. She's being dominant with parity. So it's like you get another championship, you can put yourself in that conversation. So yeah, to me, that's the greatest story. For the men's, I'm not even gonna lie, man. It is what it is. They're gonna play basketball. People gonna watch. There's nothing exciting to watch. Honestly, if I had to tell you one thing I want to see, UConn beat everybody by 30 points. I actually kind of want to see UConn beat Alabama by 30 points, then win a championship against Purdue or whoever the fuck they face by 30 points. If that doesn't happen, then North Carolina State, hey, it'll be great if y'all win because, you know, we can pay respect to that North Carolina State team that won back in the day, and we can be like, hey, man, we donate more money to cancer for the Jimmy B Foundation. But I don't really care about the men's side.
Juice man.
I need South Carolina to beat Iowa. You know, why not? Fuck it. Fuck cancer. So goddamn, let's have North Carolina win it. Let's go.
Yeah, so I mean, dominant win by South Carolina just shows you how dominant they are. New team, new players. UConn and Iowa. You got to think, UConn's done very well, and they still have 8 players on the bench that were injured. So they've been playing through this whole tournament with a heavily injured bench. So I mean, but Iowa, realistically, I just think they probably gonna ultimately win that one, man. Caitlin Clark's such a major factor in that game. We'll see though. So I mean, to me, it's gonna look like it's gonna come down to the story Iowa versus South Carolina. I just think South Carolina's more dominant of the team. It's gonna be a good game, but ultimately South Carolina, and this is gonna solidify, hey, Don Staley, you might be the best damn coach so far. No disrespect to Gino, who's one of the greatest, but I just think that's how it's going to play out. And then on the men's side, it would be great to see NC State make it to that final, but Purdue, they don't have a player, even their best player, he's good. He's just not like, you don't see him play, and you're like, damn, that nigga, he's too good. He's too good. They're so good. So, I mean, who knows how that one's going to go. And then with Bama, man, I don't think Bama can handle UConn. UConn's just, they haven't dominated as much as other teams in previous years, but UConn's probably going to win that. So it's probably going to come down to, if I had a choice, UConn, NC State, UConn wins overall for the men. But wrapping up, we'll see. That's going to happen going on live now, next few minutes. And we're going to go ahead and move on to some dynamite. But before we do that, are we paying any bills today?
Well, we do got to mention before we close out this week in sports, we got Bronny James who declared for the NBA draft today. Now, to make sure that everybody understands, that doesn't mean he's going to the NBA for show. All it means is that basically he's doing what they basically have established in college a couple years ago for these young athletes is he can test the waters, see where he's projected, and if he likes where he's projected, he can go ahead and go into the NBA draft. If he doesn't, he can go back to college and keep his eligibility. With that being said, he also put his name in the transfer portal. So, C's, on both sides, do you think him going to the NBA is a good move? And if he stays in college, where should he go?
I think it's a bad move for him to go to the WNBA right now. But
you calling him a transformer? You a transformer now?
NBA, call NBA.
Oh shit! Damn, my bad. Yeah, I was still thinking about Final Four. My bad. But NBA draft. The window, he's got a short window. It's like he hasn't really proven that he can play on that level. You know, with the whole cardiac situation that did take away from his seasons. But I mean, he was only averaging something crazy like 11 minutes. He does need to go to another team. I could see him probably playing somewhere. I honestly, I don't know, man. I mean, he could do well probably in a Big East team, maybe. or even the SEC. It's like who's gonna give him the most, play time, all that other stuff. And then like, when you're a kid, a player's kid, they look at you a certain way. It's like, hey, you're such and such a son, but you don't have the numbers where I really want to, give you the playing time. You're not that guy, basically. That's my sentiments is like, he hasn't proven to be that guy. But it's like, hey, you have the chance to see where your stock is. That window you closing, you playing with your dad. LeBron needs to do everything he needs to do to get shit lined up to where it's like, hey, I can get him in a good situation, whether it's the G League or whatever, which I feel like he would get dropped down to. But if he's in that system, they can work it out. But for me, I'm not taking him. I'm just be honest. I'm not taking him to the WNBA right now. Or the NBA, my bad. NBA.
Yeah, man. For me, yeah, man. If the goal is just to play with your father, go into the draft, sign with the Lakers, because you might not get drafted, but they'll sign you as a free agent. If you do get drafted, they'll be in the second round, and play with your father. Have fun, enjoy it. Now, if the goal is for you to become the best basketball player you can become, and hopefully have a long career, and when I say long, we're not talking like 20-something years like LeBron. That's just ridiculous. I'm just talking about 8 to 10 years of being in the NBA and being productive, being a consistent starter or role player. You need to go back to college, Bronny. You only averaged like 5 points last season. You didn't get that much tick. Part of that was because of the heart condition that you had, earlier before the season started. The other part of it is USC had some talented players, and it was hard for you to get on the court. You didn't receive that many minutes. You need to go somewhere, one, where you can actually improve your game, two, where you can get more playing time, and three, where you can figure out what it is that you want your game to look like. Everyone says you're a great playmaker. Everyone says your game resembles your father. Well, you're not really the biggest guy in the world. So go somewhere where you can probably start at point guard, maybe somewhere in the ACC, to be honest, probably somewhere in the SEC, because the talent's still good in the SEC, because the SEC has improved the last couple of years in terms of basketball. But I'm pretty sure there's teams like Vanderbilt that you can start on. There's teams like
Clemson,
Florida that you can start on. South Carolina, there's probably a couple of SEC teams you can start on. And hey, hopefully look for a team where they have a number one option at score, but he needs someone who can probably get him the ball in the right places. So go ahead and do that and continue to work on your defense. Because I'm be honest, if you can facilitate offense and play defense on the NBA level, and hit the three ball, I can tell you one thing. No matter what happens in the NBA the next 100 years, they're going to always need people that can hit the three ball and play defense. So if you can do those two things, Bronny, hey, you'll have a spot in the NBA somewhere, whether it's playing on the Lakers with your father or coming to A-Town and playing for the Atlanta Hawks. You'll have a home somewhere.
Shit, man. But I mean, the big thing for me is he needs play time. He's got to show his talent. Rose?
Yeah, man. I think he probably should go ahead and go to the NBA if he wants to go in the NBA. Lakers sign him. He can sit on the bench with his daddy. But he needs more basketball time. He needs to. I was thinking that he can go play with his play uncle, Drew Joyce, and be a starter and play more minutes and then get better. With Drew Joyce, that was one of LeBron James seniors teammates, high school teammates. So, but he's a college coach now for assistant head coach, associate head coach for the Dukes, not Duke, but the Dukes. DeQuan or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
DUQUESNE. I can't really.
Is it an AC3 team?
It's a college team.
Okay.
So he can go do that. But hey, I was surprised by it. But good for him. You know what I'm saying? I think he needs to go ahead and just join the league, and if he wants to, because he doesn't need the money. So it's like, just go ahead and join the league, get it out of the way. But if you want to play, you need to stay in college. But if you just want to be in the league, go ahead and join the league. Because if you want to play, go to college. Because next year, after you play in college, when you get drafted by the NBA, you ain't gonna be too much better. So it's like you go be what you are. You'll never be an all-star. You know what I'm saying? You'll always be LeBron James Jr.
And ended on that dynamite. Do we have any bills to pay? Any shout outs? Anything? Anybody got anything?
Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? We sipping on that no Diddy, you know what I'm saying? That De Leon, you know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, Diddy ain't with them no more, but we sipping on that De Leon, you know what I'm saying? No Diddy.
Yeah, man, and we got that Crown Blackberry in the house, man. Celebrating, man, after we just had over 700 views on one of our episodes.
Congratulations. But speaking of bombshells, speaking of dynamite, speaking of TNT, we are going to hop into it. TNT, boom.
Dynamite.
Yeah, but speaking of bombshells, man, we got a major one. We were talking about power. On this show, we always talk about black power, but we have a teacher talking about white power. We have a teacher, what was the state? Florida?
Yeah, I think it was Florida.
Florida. We have a teacher, a white female teacher who actually went as far as having a podcast, a white supremacist podcast. Speaks a lot. Hey, you got to know who people really are behind the scenes, man. Rose, you got anything on that?
Yeah, I ain't got no tears for her, you know what I'm saying? I think her podcast is pretty popular too, uh, to those people that like that kind of stuff. But it's crazy that she was a teacher, and then you wonder, like, we talked about teachers last week, or no, the week before last week we talked about teachers and things like that. But just imagine your son and daughter being taught by her and being graded and things like that, and maybe having the right answer, but then she changing it because I just don't like the way your hair look today. I just don't like the shoes you got on today.
I don't like
the way you talk.
I don't like your nose. I don't like the way you smell. I don't like your black skin.
Mm-hmm. So man, yeah, man. I got tears for the situation, man. It's sad, but it's like that every day. So it's like that's just one. It's just one out of who knows. But it's not just white supremacists. There's other races, teachers that do the same thing. It could be a black teacher that doesn't like Chinese people or Asian people, or it could be an Indian teacher that doesn't like Caucasians or black or Hispanic people. You know what I'm saying? So it's a whole bunch of them. But for her to have a whole podcast about it, and it's not like I don't know if she was spitting race on there, but I think that's what white supremacists do, right? Spit white power race, like we the dominant and things like that. So I didn't listen to a podcast. I never would, but yeah, I got tears.
Yeah, man, it's sad to me, man. I got tears, of course, because as somebody that reads a lot on Black history and watch a lot of Black history documentaries and stuff. Like we gotta actually take ourselves back in a moment and understand that a lot of people that was in the KKK, like we always try to make it seem like it was these backwoods rednecks. I'll be honest, bro. A lot of people who ran the KKK was teachers, doctors, lawyers, judges, businessmen, people in your community.
Who else?
Like,
there's a big one you didn't say.
Police officers too. Like, like a lot of the people, like these was people that would smile in black people's face, and they might even take your business as a black person. But then later on that night, put on a hood and rile up the rednecks that y'all that's ignorant, like the mechanics and stuff, or that's farming, sharecropping, rile them up and stuff, so they can go and lynch a black person. So it's like, hey, it's 2024. Like, I always say when stuff like this happens. White people say racism don't exist no more. It's dead. We need to move on. How can we move on when you got a teacher who's openly a white supremacist with her own podcast, spewing hatred, but then going to school every day teaching young black kids? Like, of course, like Rose was, saying, you're not going to treat them fairly like you do the white kids, because you're already coming in there with preconceived notions and prejudices. Like you're going to grade them on a curve. You're not going to treat them right. You're going to be disrespectful. Hell, like if you read some of these books and watch some of these documentaries, there was teachers back in the day that was part of the KKK, And every time a student raised their hand, Malcolm X said it in his biography. Man, he got called nigga so much in school, he started thinking that was his first fucking name. Like, hey, and those are real stories right there, man. There's black people that still alive today that when they was in school, they had teachers that called them nigga to their face. Every time they would answer the question or whatever. And they got treated, as such. And, it's sad, man, but this is why we got to do better. And before I give it to you, Steve, hey, Florida, y'all been fucking up. Like, it seems like every other month, y'all got some bullshit going on, man. Like, hey, man, black people need to stop going to Florida, bro. Like, y'all finna get on that do not go list like Mississippi, bro. Like, we finna start doing y'all like Florida because it's just too much shit going down there, bro. Like, Florida man running wild.
But yeah, man, it's tears, man. Anytime you see something like this, whether it had been anybody who goes up and actively teaches hate, it's like you don't really know who people are behind closed doors. Apparently, she did openly had a podcast, so it's sad to see. When we speak of Florida and then, with the DEI, next is Texas. Texas just recently passed something where they did away with a lot of the DEI efforts in universities and colleges. They basically wiped it away. Tennessee's another one. So, I mean, it's in line. It's in plan, man. So it's like, I wouldn't be surprised she's got a job tomorrow. Let's just be honest. Like, she's probably going to make enough money off the podcast. It's like, oh, let me go ahead and support her even more. What do they say? Their rhetoric, go woke, go burnt. So, I mean, and then it's like, it's not anything different than what they already teach in these books. It's not like they're actually teaching the real history anyway. Critical race theory, CRT, is important. Diversity is important. Learning the actual true stories and the whole picture, not just what you feel like somebody should know. So, I mean, yeah, it's tears, man. Anytime you see some shit like this. But, I mean, you got fired. Hey, bitch, do what you do. Man.
Hey, man, speaking of bitches, though, man. And speaking of bitches getting caught doing dumb shit because of social media. There was this woman, this black woman. She apparently had warrants out. Now, whether she knew she had warrants or not is a different story. Sometimes you know, sometimes you don't know. She was at Chuck E. Cheese celebrating, I guess, one of her kids or one of her cousin's birthday parties. Was going live, and the police pulled up on her and arrested her. And I think the chief of police gave a statement saying, hey, man, if you got warrants out and we looking for you, man, hey, post on Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook Live, TikTok, do all of that. Help us out. Because we love dumb criminals. Like, hey, bro, I said this a couple episodes ago, man, when we talked about we gotta learn how to get a lick and be cool. Man, some of y'all motherfuckers gotta stop putting all y'all shit on social media. Like, some of y'all motherfuckers, like, I ain't gonna lie, I go on Snapchat, I go on Instagram, and I see motherfuckers literally chilling, just smoking weed all on the camera. And the only thing I can think of is, man, I just hope you got a job where it's just not important to you. But then I be finding out some of these motherfuckers got legit jobs or drug tests. And you just on social media just smoking weed and shit like you don't give a damn. Like, hey, man, I understand you trying to share your life with the world or put out an image of yourself out there, but everybody don't need to know what you're doing. Like, bitch, why do we need to know you at Chuck E. Cheese celebrating a birthday with your little cousins? We don't need to know that shit, bruh. I ain't been to Chuck E. Cheese in like 15 years. We don't need to know that. Like, sit your ass down, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I ain't got no tears, by the way, man, because you got what you deserve, like that white man say. And I hate agreeing with these white men. But you a dumb criminal.
Yeah, man. I got tears, man, because she was on live and I ain't see her take one bite of pizza. That's the only reason you go to
Chuck E. Cheese for the
nasty ass pizza. Man.
That's the only reason you go to Chuck E. Cheese as an adult, to eat the pizza.
No, it's not. You go for the prizes, man.
Nah, man.
You gotta push these kids aside and shoot your shot. Get the whack-a-mole.
Man, see, you one of them niggas that when they be shooting the basketball, you push the little nigga on the ground and take the ball from him, man. Come on, man. Let that kid enjoy his prize.
Hell yeah, when you got little rugrats running around.
You're supposed to be sitting at the table eating pizza. You too old to be out there with a kid. See, You acting like Diddy over there. You acting like Diddy.
No Diddy.
Nah, but he act like Diddy. He act like Jefferson, man.
Fuck them kids.
Niggas going to Chuck E. Cheese.
Hold up.
Island.
Hold up. Nah, fuck them kids. I need my tickets. Fuck them kids.
F the kids.
Fuck them kids.
F the kids.
Man, fuck the kids. You a nasty motherfucker.
No. Get them kids out of Chuck E. Cheese. Let the no. Fuck it. Go to Dave & Buster's. Fuck it. Go to Dave &
Exactly,
Buster's.
man. You got tears or no tears.
Man, I ain't got no tears, man. It's just like, and it's like, he is the TikTok sheriff. This is like the 5th or 6th video I've seen with him. He always says it. Stop putting shit on social media. Dumbass criminals posting live on shit. You always get caught. It's always him. It's always the same damn sheriff. Somewhere in Florida or whatever state it is. I've seen him on videos he always talks about. He brags about it. We use social media as a tool. No tears for your dumb ass. Stop posting shit on social media. If you know you're a criminal, you know you got warrants, stop doing this shit.
I mean, you know what dumb people need to stop doing? Man, stop having kids. If you know you a dumbass, stop having kids, man. Gorilla was on the Shay Shay Club. And and Shannon Sharp was like, you don't ever be worried that one of these dudes might try to trap you with a baby? And she said, man, how a dude gonna trap a woman with a baby? Man, I got a membership at Planned Parenthood. Hey, C's, tears or no tears?
There's no tears for that dumbass shit. I mean, it's a good thing she know how to utilize the shit, but it's like, damn, you parading the shit that you have a membership? It's like, oh, you just let somebody nut in the bucket. It's like, no, I'm gonna go ahead and get this popped out. So I mean, it's no tears. I mean, it's no tears because I mean, you know what you getting into, man. So.
Man, I got tears of joy, man, because if you listen to my rhetoric on the pod, I say the same thing all the time. Me and MJ talk about. I don't never tell you hoes you can't go out here and have fun. But stop letting these ain't shit niggas get you pregnant, though. You supposed to go fuck these ain't shit niggas like the white girls do. How these white girls be telling stories about they fucked the whole football team or the whole frat house and stuff. The next thing you know, 10, 15 years later, me and T-Ticket was talking about it. You look at a white bitch and be like, damn, bro, she married to this lawyer. She married to this politician. And they put that past deep down. Man, second off, I think it's cool. Hey, I didn't know Planned Parenthood had memberships. I just got a question, Glorilla. So after like your 5th abortion, it's like when you go get yoga, they click off the 5th abortion and they be like, hey, man, come back again. The 6th one's free. Like, that's all I want to know. Like, you know, is it like that? Because if it is, I got some hoes I need to take there now and sign up for memberships.
Yeah, so shout out to Gorilla, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got no tears either, yeah, man. She's from Memphis, man. So she said it just like she's supposed to say it. She doesn't really have a membership, but she was just talking about some pimp stuff. That's all. In her music. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, check this out though.
And speaking of hoes, man, you know, it's a side out there, man. You know, man was talking about, you know, you need something, go get what you need, man. List crawler, man.
Not just a man. Bubba Dub, man, the little social media comedian, man.
Trash.
You know, you trash.
Trash.
If your bitch pussy trash, go on List Crawler and pay $45 and you can fuck that bitch for 15 whole minutes.
Trash.
Trash.
She smell like trash.
Hey, man.
Look like trash.
I got tears of laughter. Cause he telling the truth, man. A lot of you hoes, let's keep it real, bro. You hoes that don't want to do what you're supposed to do for your man. That out here, like they said when you was growing up, what you won't do, someone else will do. But the difference is, we live in an era today, it's a lot of hoes out here trying to get paid. So if you don't want to suck your man dick, hey, all right, cool, you got to suck my dick. It's a hoe down the street that I can pay $40. It will suck it, swallow it, and do all kind of other shit for me, man. So, hey, man, that's dope, bro. And I heard this one thing a pimp said, man, do like the white boys, bro. Stop trying to cuff these hoes. Go out here and be a trick. Pay your little money, fuck that bitch, and then go home and kiss your wife and go to bed, bruh. That's what a lot of you niggas need to do, man. Go and get that bitch the little money you owe her, get your nut in, and then take your ass home, man. Don't be trying to say this my side chick and my girlfriend. Nah, go on List Crawlers, put in your city, and find a girl that look good to you, and find a price that you deem right. You know, I know people on there, man. So do your thing. Some of them, the price is too high though, man. So leave them ones alone. Unless you just feel like you got it. I'm gonna stick to the $40, $60 range though myself. I like them bottoms.
Man, it's no tears, man. Do what you want to do, man. You got the website, gave you the info. Do as you please, man. No tears, man.
Yeah, man, I ain't got no tears, man. But it was funny because he said, what? Go on, list crawlers. Go on, list crawlers, man. But the prices he named, he a rich man. He said, man, I caught me 3 J-Los on there for $245. Man, like, but what may say, what's the 45 for?
The service charge.
What's the 45 for? Why this can't be 200? What's this 45 about? You know what I'm saying?
Half these hoes be using Cash App, so they be needing that 45 so they can take the money off or whatever.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was funny though. But yeah, if you in need for the speed, yeah, go ahead and hop on that. Go ahead and hop on that train,
and you can get some pussy indeed.
Yeah, but we talking about this, and the next topic is coming up. Let them know what we talking about.
Yeah, man. So if you gonna pay for some pussy, be careful, bro, because not all pussy's clean pussy, bro. Like them cops told Denzel and he got game. They gave him 100. Hey, don't get yourself some disease out there. So the CDC just did a report, and for the new HIV infection, so not people who previously had HIV, people who recently have discovered they had HIV. Atlanta was ranked third in the country. So, I saw this and I decided to do some research. And I wanted to see some other cities in the top 10. Philly, New York, LA, San Francisco, New Orleans, Miami was other cities around the top 10. Seattle was in there too. And I'm going to say this right here, Brad.
What about Vegas?
I don't think I saw Vegas.
Oh, yeah, because what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Oh, yeah, Vegas probably don't report that shit. But one thing I saw, bro, that kind of made me kind of curious, and there was an article that talked about it, and they hinted at this. Hey, bro, and some people not going to like this. I just find it crazy that a lot of these cities that got high HIV rates, it's a lot of gay people in those cities.
It's a lot of sassy and zestiness going on.
It's a lot of gay people. I'm just saying, I'm not trying to say it's a gay disease like they did in the 80s. I'm not trying to say that. But I'm just saying, these cities that got these high HIV rates, I just find it curious that it's a lot of transgenders in them cities, and it's a lot of gay people in them cities. Like, hey, this is why I always say, when y'all hear me get upset about them down low brothers, it ain't because they gay, it's because of the fact that I'm over here sticking my dick in some pussy, and you sticking your dick in the same pussy, which, hey, bro, I ain't Drake. We can fuck the same bitch. I don't care. But then you go down the street, and a nigga sticking their dick in your ass, and you come back and you sticking your dick in somebody's ass, and then you come stick your dick back in the pussy that I gotta stick my dick in. See, now, that's when the water start getting muddy, bro.
Literally.
like shit start getting muddy. Now I'm eating pussy and I'm trying to figure out man, why this shit tastes like shit. Because you sticking your dick in somebody's shitty booty hole. Like, come on now. Like, hey, I'm just saying, but this one reason why I be scared to fuck hoes in Atlanta.
This shit gonna vibe.
Cause hoes in Atlanta might have a dick, or they might be fucking with a nigga that be taking dick. So y'all need to be careful when y'all go to some of these cities and you see them niggas swinging their hips. Just understand, you can laugh at a nigga all day, but he might fuck your bitch.
Juice land. Anything? Rose. Man, gots to be more careful, man. Gots to be more careful. It is. I ain't got tears because they always on the list, man. It's the same cities on the list. And then have you ever looked up the state ones where they be like, okay, we got the national average, then we got the individual states. South Carolina, it's bad. Georgia, it's bad. Mississippi, it's very bad. Louisiana, fucking terrible. So, I mean.
But you just said all the poor cities, they can't afford condoms, bro.
But it's crazy that you say those poor cities, because, yeah, I got tears because mostly, it's crazy because most people actually have to go get tested. So that's a smart thing that people are getting tested. So other cities that might not have the rates, that's because people aren't getting tested. So it's a good thing that people in Atlanta are going to get tested and doing things like that. But it's a sad situation. But that's one reason why I settled down. You know what I'm saying? A long time ago.
I'm gonna ask y'all a question because I gave my thoughts. And I already know people not gonna like my thoughts. Season Rose. Man, why y'all think the HIV rate so high in Atlanta and some of these other cities I named?
And it's twofold, man. I mean, one thing is you look at the graphs is, let's be real, where did HIV come from? Really though, where did it come from?
The CIA.
Then why is it always in a high rate amongst blacks and Hispanics? But why is that? White people ain't out here fucking raw and getting disease and shit too.
Charlie Sheen got it.
That's what I'm saying. Man, you got one out of how many? But I'm saying it's
Yeah.
hell yeah. Yeah. That's that tiger blood. But yeah, it's crazy to see how it lines up. But I mean, yeah, Atlanta specifically, you know what the fuck it is. Bertiz, you ain't say nothing wrong. You ain't say a lie.
Rose?
The reasons why I think it probably is because the education part, I don't think they teach that stuff in school anymore. And people just think, oh, that went away. It can't happen to me. It can't happen to me. But yeah, it can happen to you. It can happen to somebody close to you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the education part is lacking, and that's the main reason. I think it's the educational part.
So hey man, so to fix this problem, there's two things we need to do.
They need to put it on TikTok.
We need to educate these poor cities, like Rose
Everyone.
just said. Well, some cities ain't got it bad, so they
report it
though, because they might not be getting tested.
Here's one
at
more.
The rates, because I know people in Georgia get tested at a higher rate than other states.
I mean, there's some that's not reported, but I read the same article, and there's some cities that shit's low. Like they are reported as low, so maybe they are educated.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Hey, we gotta educate some of these poor cities, and we gotta do something about that alphabet problem too.
And before we move on, one factor is it's like this is not a STI where it's just like chlamydia, crabs, or whatever, where you get it and you know you got it. This might be dormant for 6 months, a year, maybe longer. So you might have it. You out here going around the town, spreading everything around, spreading different things, whatever your flavor is. But so shit, that's another factor.
Man, I think the reason what it is
like
because
Vontae said, protect your booty hole.
Yeah, the reason why it is, man, because it's these hoes.
What's wrong with them?
And
that's the problem.
Hoes too.
Yeah. What's wrong with these hoes?
But
what's wrong with these hoes?
But speaking of hoes, man, we have a woman at a kid's birthday party or some outdoor event, somebody's house, shaking ass on the fence, backing it up on Woody from Toy Story. Woody had a Woody, hot damn. But I mean, Vertizi, man, what's wrong with these hoes, man?
Man, Woody thought that was Mary Bo Peep and was looking for the sheep. So, hey, man, me and TTK talked about this, man, because we saw people twerking at a funeral on TikTok and social media. It's a time and a place, man. It's a time and a place for everything, man. And at your kid's birthday party, especially if they under the age of like 12, you twerking is not the appropriate time. There are children that place, motherfuckers trying to eat hot dogs and hamburgers. You don't need to be twerking like that. I thought it was crazy because that let you know the little kid was embarrassed. He came and pushed his mama, said, "Hey, stop." And the mama said, "Nah, I'm a hoe," and pushed the kid down and kept on twerking. And Woody turned on, I don't know, maybe Woody part of the alphabet crew. Because Woody turned over the fence, Woody started twerking too. And I'm like, I don't know, I ain't see this in Toy Story. This might be like the unrated version of Toy Story, but I ain't never seen Woody twerking. So that shit was crazy to me, man. But hey, man, it's a time and a place for everything. And also, a lot of you parents, y'all gotta stop using your kids' birthdays as excuses to turn the fuck up. Because there's too many of y'all, especially y'all hoes. It's too many y'all hoes. My son turned 5, and you had the birthday party, but I see it nothing but Hennessy, Ciroc everywhere, and Patron, and y'all smoking weed and shit, doing each other hair and stuff, playing nothing but adult songs. Y'all ain't playing the little Shark song. Y'all playing nothing but wet ass pussy and all these other adult ass songs, smoking weed in the backyard, and just cause y'all get one little slip and slide, and y'all might have a trampoline in the corner, y'all thinking that's a kid's birthday party. No, that is an adult party that just so happens to have kids there because y'all can't afford babysitters. That's all that shit is. So you hoes gotta stop that shit. Once you become a parent, sit your ass down. Or do what your parents did before you. Drop them kids off with their grandparents.
You supposed to like let the shit go on, let the kids play themselves out. Go ahead, knocked out around 9 o'clock. That's when you come out and you do all your dirt because you got some area. It's like
our parents used to do, but nah, y'all wanna party while it's still daylight. And but say we here for the kids. Now y'all trying to turn up for yourselves. Telling people like, hey, Juice Man, hey, come to my son's birthday party, man, and make sure you bring a bottle of Hennessy. How old your son turning? He must just got back from Iraq. Nah, he turned 3. Then why did he bring a bottle of Henny?
Oh, that's for us, man. What you mean? But yeah, I mean, it's like people don't have decorum, or you just don't. There's ways you can compartmentalize shit. Like it's a time and place for everything. It's like it's a kids party. Let kids be kids. Why are you throwing ass at a 3-year-old's party or a 12-year-old's party? Even a teenager, even if you have a teenager, 16 years old, why is the mama or the auntie or some woman, some hoe throwing ass?
We got the blind leading the blind. We got hoes raising hoes.
And it's like, come on, man. Like the kids getting mad. He's like, auntie, stop.
It's sad to see that shit too.
Mama, stop. Like have some time and place for everything. You can still do what the fuck you do. Do your dirt. Do the shit you want to do. Just do it in a certain area, away from the kids. Don't let them see that shit. Cause now you got kids think it's okay, and then the ones that know it's not okay, they gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing? My mom's a hoe or auntie's a hoe."
Right? I always like Meet the Browns. That was some real shit. You know, I don't know how it go. How Meet the Browns go? How that go? Meet the Browns.
All I remember is Mabel.
The one with the cookies.
So I mean, yeah,
the freckle face hoe. You know what I'm saying? What about Mama?
Even what was the uncle's name? Uncle June or whatever sat in the corner and said, "Oh, she knows she a host. That bitch fat. She a hoe. No, she a." But yeah, man.
You talking about Meet the Browns? I'm thinking family reunion, bro. Where Uncle Joe, the old ass grandpa, he looking and he trying to determine is these hoes and these blue jean shorts with these fat asses. Hey, how we related? How we related to her again?
That's Shawnee's daughter, man.
How we related?
That's Shawnee's daughter.
Oh, that's my marriage, right?
Bro, say, man, you got any thoughts?
I just got my social security check. Come over here and sit on my lap.
Tell us, man. Goddamn. Man with the PhD.
Yeah, man. I thought it was ratchet and it was crazy and it was sad that because the sad part not that she was dancing, sad part that she swung on the little kid for trying to get her to stop dancing. And then she kicked him and all kind of other stuff. So it's like that was the sad part. But
he swung at her first though.
Yeah, but if you go, that's why I was confused that if it was the mama or adult because they both fighting like little kids. Like if that's your mama, like you supposed to be whooping his butt. Like he's swinging on you. Like you supposed to be catching this. You supposed to be catching these belt buckles and these switches and these hands. You're supposed to be catching something other than a laugh with your hand over your face. But
from throwing ass to beating ass.
Yeah, that's what it's for. That's what it should have been. From throwing ass to beating ass.
You know, she was laughing because she knew she was wrong.
Yeah, but he was wrong too because I ain't never seen a son swing at his mama and not get his teeth knocked out. So that confused me. But hey, it is what it is, as the people say.
Yeah, moving on, man. Any final thoughts on that one, man?
Nah, man, hoes gonna be hoes, bro, whether they got kids or not.
Kids or not, hoes will be hoes regardless. But man, speaking of just partying and just turning up, man, why does it seem like a lot of black people, man, like you see people, friend groups, homeboys, homies, homegirls, friend groups, everybody wants to turn up, buy bottles, buy sections, but nobody wants to start a business. Nobody wants to make money. Nobody wants to build wealth. So I mean, there's that factor, man.
Here we go.
Yeah, man. I mean, I saw this post early in the week, and I shared it with y'all because it was something that just crossed my mind, and it's curious because it's easy for us, especially in our black community, because it was talking about specifically black people. We'll justify going to the club and going in on a section, getting a bottle or two. Especially if you watch some of these videos, because some of these videos of black people going to the club, I'm not talking about how we do, where it's only like maybe 200-300 for the section and the bottle. No, I'm talking about, like, I remember when me and MGH and D Will went to Vegas one year, and it was $1,500 for the section and one bottle, and each bottle would have been an additional like $300-400, and we was like, nah, that's too rich for our blood. But we see groups of friends doing it. They spending $1,500. We in Miami one year, and it's like a band just for a small section and a bottle. But then for the nice sections, which to me was average sections, those lots are average sections, it was like $2,500. And guess what? We see people in them. We see 5-6 people in those sections with a bottle or two, and it's like, wow, this is crazy. So, like, if I had to answer the reason why, man, people are cool with satisfaction over gratification, man. Like, people want to experience what they want to experience in the moment, but they don't want to work hard and put stuff away for later gratification. Because, like, for you to start a business with your friends, let's say it's 4 or 8 of y'all, whatever number you got, that means each one of y'all are saving money. And for those who've seen the original Raisin in the Sun, Sidney Poitier's character was told by his friends, hey, we each need 10 bands. And if we all put 10 bands together, it's only 3 of us. We can get a liquor store with the license and everything, yada, yada, yada. And so literally, he had to save up to get the 10 bands just so he could put his part in for the liquor store so they all could be equal owners. Well, you got to look at it like that. For you to save, and we even got to do 10 bands, just say 5 bands. For you to save 5 bands, that means you have to sacrifice going out. You have to sacrifice eating out. You have to sacrifice buying this. You might have to sacrifice this subscription over here, that subscription over here. And you got to sacrifice that not just for a month, not just for 3 months, potentially for a whole year, so you can have that disposable income to give it to somebody.
Been there, done that.
And say, let's go ahead and do this. And then on top of that, another problem is you gotta trust them people.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta trust that everybody's gonna do their part. You gotta trust that everybody's gonna chip in evenly. You gotta trust that whatever this person's telling me is on the up and up. So when I go to C's and C's is telling me, yeah, man, it's only this much for the liquor license. Once I give him my 5 bands, I gotta hope this nigga ain't gonna run off my money. Mm-hmm. But more importantly, I gotta hope that he ain't finna pocket the money, and then we open this liquor store or we open this bar, and then I find out 2 months later when the police come, hey, where your liquor license at? Oh, C's got it. C's looking at me like, man, I never got it, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. I spent that money in Atlanta at a strip club. I didn't know they would check about the liquor license. So I'm like, what the fuck? So that's another part too, man. You gotta trust the people you go in business with. But, before I pass the mic on to y'all, like, that is something that we need to sit down as a people, and we do need to come together and try to establish more Black-owned businesses in our community. Like, yes, it does take money, it does take time, it does take energy, but these are things that's important, because when we do this in our community, 1, we can leave stuff for our children and our families, and 2, we can serve our communities instead of us going to the liquor store and it's always the Arabs serving us liquor, or us going to the gas station as Middle Eastern people, or we looking at going to these restaurants and it's owned by white people or Jewish people or Chinese people. We need to have places where Black people can say, hey, I spent my money here and it's owned by someone that looks like me, thinks like me, understands my struggle just like me, and they're not trying to take advantage of me like some of these other communities are. So, those are my initial thoughts.
Deuce, man. Anything?
Yeah. Them liquor stores I don't like, but I fuck with them because it's late night. But shit, I'm gonna be coming and get some Remy 1738. But what they got? All they got is Henny. And then it's in a half pint. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? You ain't got a pint? You ain't got a fifth? You ain't got a half a gallon? Nope. All we got it is half pint of the Henny. And it's like, yo, what the fuck? And then they taxing you like you buying the fifth. That's the problem. Don't. I understand it's late night. I understand you still open, but why the fuck you taxing me on this half a pint when I can buy a fifth for the same amount of money? So that's the problem with the black folks. You know what I'm saying? They always trying to take advantage of the situation. And it's I agree with you. We as people got to come together because we can do big things. We're the biggest consumers, so why can't we come together as a big cocoon and take it with a kilometer? But it is what it is, man.
Rose, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, you go ahead with it with Caesar.
Man, so this is like when it comes into the situation, it's like everybody's down for the turn up, celebrating. I believe in, enjoying your accomplishments, reveling in it, enjoying it. But there's a certain time where it's like you can't do it all the time. It's like you get to a certain point, it's like, oh, black folks, this is no knock to you.
Hey, see, what's that line by Dave that you sang for the song? Everybody want to turn up, but when it's time to turn up, nobody turns up.
So it's like, hey, when we get down to business, it's like I call a meeting to the table. It's like, hey, this is serious.
I don't like your tone.
I don't like your tone. It's kind of like, okay, bitch. When it gets to a certain point, it's like you got to ask these questions. It's like, can you compartmentalize? Can you separate the egos? Can everybody put their egos aside? Can everybody put this whatever issues or somehow somebody feels like, oh, such and such doesn't do this when it comes to us talking, but can you do this on a business level? In these same circles, it's like, can you trust everybody to do what they say they're going to do? And then another thing is, it's a lot of people that half-ass do things as far as
preach.
You can say you want to do something. You've all agreed. This is why a lot of people say a business plan is important. You have these people that say, I'm about doing it. I'm about action. It takes plans to have action. You don't just come together and say, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. This is how we're going to get there. Yes, you're going to have to change. Yes, you're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to reshape, reform. It might take 5 years. It might take 10 years. And that's where a lot of people fall out. It's like people want instant things. And then it's like you have to get to a point to where you have to agree on things. Not everybody's going to get what they want. You're going to have to compromise.
Exactly. Preach.
So it's like, you want to start a bit. When people say you have to have a business plan, it's important because it lays out the bylaws. You can take all these other races, like whether it's Asian, Indian, whatever. Sometimes people don't do it with their friends. Sometimes they do it with their friend's cousin down the street. But it's like, hey, you're now going from the circle of this is my homeboy, this is my homegirl, this is my friend, we grew up together, blah, blah, blah. Are you able to separate the ego from your friendship and actually have it on business? Because it's like a lot of people's like, I know I can't do business with my friend because it's going to be too conflated. We got too much of this going on or this or that going on. This person doesn't trust this person. That person doesn't trust this person. So, I mean,
black folks don't work together.
If you get past the points to where you're actually able to do that, it's actually a good thing. Homegrown things are a good thing. You see all these other communities do it. It's can you put it aside, your egos, your inhibitions, your non-trust. Can you put that shit aside for the greater good? So it's like, hey.
To your point, C's, can you humble yourself?
Black folks
can you be okay not being the leader for this particular project? Because sometimes to be a great leader, you got to know when to step back and follow.
You got to know how to follow.
And that's the problem. Everybody want to lead, but if we start a business, everybody, like, bruh, I watch documentaries all the time, and there was plenty of people in the black movement that was like, man, we really don't want Dr. King leading us. But then other people say, well, guess what? There needs to be one person that when they sit down in front of these white people and talk, they speaking for all of us. So when we do a business, it got to be one person that's making the decision sometimes, or like, hey, this is what happened, and you got to trust that person sometimes. Everybody can't be the leader in all situations.
You know, a situation that I heard about that, it really killed me. I was like, damn, everybody want to be a chief.
That's too many chiefs.
Everybody
too
want to
many
be the
chiefs.
chiefs.
Not enough Indians, and it's
not enough Indians.
That's why I say when your ego is like, okay, this person is the CEO. The CEO still has to answer to who? The board. There's a whole board of trustees. There's shareholders. Everybody has a boss. Just because you're a leader, it goes back to whether you're military, cop, whatever, you're certain organizations. Being a leader is actually being a servant. A real leader is a servant. So it's like, I think one of the biggest things is ego is like people want to just lead without no leeway. Like you have advisors, you have this person, technical officer, all these, whatever title you want to throw out. People specialize in their area. It's like, hey, we need to do X, Y, and Z. It's like, all right, you go to the financial person. Hey, we don't have the budget to do this. This is the most important X, Y, and Z. So, I mean, it's kind of going on things. It's like people fall out.
Black folks don't do it.
One of the worst things to fall out over is business. That's why a lot of people fall out. It's like, okay, we try to start this business together, and then you fall out over some bullshit.
I'm going to tell you what I heard. Okay, it's time to buy a skyscraper. How many Chinese are going to go in with a skyscraper?
Shit, hope.
About 20. It's time to buy a skyscraper. How many Indians are going to go in with the skyscraper? Probably about 15. It's time to buy a skyscraper. How many white folks are going to go in on the skyscraper? It's going to be about 10. And then it comes to the blacks. It's time to buy a skyscraper. How many of us going to come together, like you said, let the egos go? Everybody come together as leaders or followers to buy the skyscraper. You're not going to get more than 2, maybe 3. So what that leaves you with, you don't get the skyscraper. You don't get it because you're black. And as you being black, you're not going to be able to find more than 2 to 3 to kick it with you to be able to do the business plan and come up with the capital to do it. That's the problem. We got to come together as a people.
What you got, Rose?
Yeah, so it's possible but that's where the paperwork comes in at, and you have to vote. Like if nobody wants to see this person, but if say it's 7 of us and we all have a vote for who's going to be, because it's always going to be, when you have the paperwork, it's going to be who's the CEO, who's the treasurer, who's the vice president, who is the secretary, or who and things like that. Once you define the roles, then and you put it on paperwork, then there shouldn't be no issues.
But to get there, you got to be humble to get that.
Not if you vote, because if you vote, then if you want to
accept the vote.
No, but we're not talking about. We're just talking about what I think about it. So it's like, so you might have to be, if you're voting, you say everybody just voted for themselves. It's like, okay, that's just dumb. Like,
no, I'm just saying, like, let's say we all vote and we vote for Juice Man to be the leader, but you don't like it. Mm-hmm. And we've all seen situations where even though the majority said this is what we're going to do, it's that one person behind the corner talking shit to other people like, man, I can't believe that them other motherfuckers, and they like, yeah, man, I voted for you, Rose. And y'all just start talking amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
and it creates a divide.
That's that crab. That crab in the basket.
That Juice Man saying, but you're not putting your heart into what he's saying. So it's not successful because you're not giving your best to it.
Yeah, that's the crabs in the basket. But if it's on paperwork, then that's when if it's all on paperwork, then it doesn't matter what somebody say, because then you can cause once it's on paperwork, then it's a legal binding document.
It still don't matter.
It does matter, because once it's on a legal binding document and there's money involved, then
it don't matter.
It does matter, because that's when you can.
It's a different.
No, you're right.
Are you black, white?
It doesn't matter who you is.
See, yeah, it does.
Once it's on paper, we have to abide by this.
No, they don't.
It just becomes a simple fact of
And if you don't
Some
abide
people
by
might
it, then
fall out.
then once you don't abide by it, then it's gonna take legal action, and then you just won't be in that conversation anymore.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You black, so.
But it's not.
paperwork ain't shit.
It's not about just being black. It's just about if you fall out, because the paperwork is the paperwork.
And that's why it's important to come to the point to where everybody's actually agreeing. Like, hey, you got to know people's temperament, what somebody's willing to do. Like, you might have say, hey, we gonna open up this liquor store. Hey, I got a full-time job. I got a family to feed. I'm not gonna be able to sit there at the store. I can do behind the scenes. I can do the taxes. I can do the business side. But I'm not taking my fucking Friday off to go sit at the store and watch the store. It's like, that ain't what I agreed upon. And somebody established that, it's like, hey.
What the paperwork say? That's what I'm saying. The paperwork don't mean shit if you black.
And that's why you got to sit there and have these conversations. It's just like the same thing. You got all these people, pandemic. You had all these people go out and say, hey, you give me your money. You give me your money. I'm going to go, everybody, I'm going to break you off. Everybody give me $1,500. I'm going to go get this PPP loan, start this LLC. Motherfuckers start scamming and shit. Yes, people was establishing businesses, breaking people off,
paperwork
and shit. But it's like, when it came down,
no paperwork. That's why they locked up,
nigga. Oh
I mean, they had the PPP paperwork, but besides that, it was like
no paperwork. That's on the system.
What you're saying though, see, like if we go to the club right now, let's say we go to Club True or the new scene, like we talked about earlier before we started the pod. Like us getting a section in a bottle, that's not a long-term commitment. That's just a one-night commitment. That's just us saying we're gonna put some money together tonight and we're gonna turn up. Versus we decide to say, hey, we all gonna come back in 3 months and have $1,000 or $2,000 to start a business. Guess what? Now you gotta invest. Now you gotta put your time, energy in it. Now you gotta see this through, because now we're making an investment. This ain't something we just doing for just a weekend
willy-nilly
or just for one night. This is something we doing for the next couple of years, hopefully. And guess what? Something we didn't touch on, like you was kind of hinting at it those seats earlier when you was talking, you got to accept the losses, because most businesses, just like with most podcasts, they're not successful within the first year and a half. So most businesses, they actually take a loss their first year or two. So are you okay taking that loss? Or are you going to be part of the group and we get together and we ain't making no money? But guess what, Season Rose? Me and Juice Man told y'all we wasn't gonna make no money these first 2 years. It was gonna take year 3
statistics
for us to make money.
Statistics come in.
And then it kind of comes to the point to where it's like people say what they're willing to do. It's just like, hey, I'll invest, but as far as operations, I'm not doing none of that shit. I'm expecting y'all to run the business.
Angel investor.
Some people got to be that. Mm-hmm. It's like you establish the roles at the beginning. You pivot when you need to pivot. And it's like people's egos get into place. It's like, you know what? People really got to be willing to say, I was good a year ago. Shit, we done put $120,000. We got the loan. Shit, hey, I got a family to feed. I got another job. It's taking most of my time. I got to take a different role. Like, this shit got to switch. It's the changes too. It's like the success of like the changes you got to make. Sometimes it's not going to be 50-50. It's not going to be 25-25-25. Sometimes it might be 60-10, fucking 20. You know, it just might, it's a reality. It's like, you know what? I'm going to put the business on my back. I'm going to make this my full-time job. But at that point, you should have already established, hey, this is what it is.
We got to come together as people.
And then everybody got to accept like what people can do too. Like if I know you in school, C's, and I know that you can only do stuff on the weekends or whatever, then if we decide to do this as a group, I cannot then go back to Roseanne and say, man, this nigga C's don't never open up on Monday through Friday. He only open up on Saturday. But we already established beforehand. You know, that's all
it don't matter.
Do.
You black, it don't matter. You pissed now.
I mean, that is
motherfucker. Like as time go by, it's like this nigga, what that goddamn.
And that's the part that is really the crux of the conversation. We as black people,
we gotta come together.
We gotta come together. We gotta stop being petty, and we gotta see the end goal of this is the end goal. For us to get to this end goal, you and me are in a race right now. And you ever seen that 3-legged race where they tie your legs together? Mm-hmm. For us to get to the finish line, we have to cooperate.
That's right.
Like I like we have to move as one, and we have to understand. Like you might take the first step, and I might have to follow you. But I might take the first step, and you might have to follow me, and we have to be okay with that. It can't be no, man. Every time this nigga take the first step, you know what? I'm gonna take the first step, and I'm gonna put us out of order. Now we on the ground.
Yeah.
And now we wondering why we dirty and scratched up, and it's because I was mad that you was taking the first step, but that's what was getting us forward, though.
It kind of goes to the metaphor. What is it, Buds with the Navy SEALs, where they got to lift the log in the water.
All of them.
So it's like, you know, all the like
SEALs,
spec ops, basically.
Yeah, all of them do that.
It's like you move as a unit in a team. It's not like, oh, we're making, and then it's like another thing. Like, let's say you are successful. You get to the point to where like, hey, you are successful. Oh, I deserve the most because I'm the CEO. We're successful because of the efforts I made.
And that's something.
Motherfucker, you still took my money, my $1,500. Like,
you're right.
I ain't do shit.
You gotta be careful with that.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, now we're manipulating.
So I'm saying it's like
it's a whole nother level now. Now you talking about manipulating. That's markets. That's like, okay, well, whose name on it?
So I mean, it comes down to that.
It comes down to who name on it, and then it's like, okay, well, your name's on it. That means should put my name on it. You still in debt,
and we got to stop with the pissing contest, man. If you saw the Social Network back in the day, like I can't get mad because you can get in all the hot clubs and I can't. But we started Facebook together though. We started Facebook together. It don't matter. It don't matter that I'm fucking all the hot bitches off the strength and you gotta pay. Guess what? We still fucking. We still both getting.
Everybody getting in.
But I'm just doing on the strength. Don't let that make you bitter towards me and ruin our business together.
I don't think it do. It comes with, are you clout blocking? Because now I got the money and now it's like, don't fuck that nigga.
But any closing thoughts on this?
Yeah, man, it's really like the business plan is important. The foundation of it. And then it's like, let's be honest, you can't do it with everybody. Some friends, it's just like, you know what? I don't even want to fathom it because, bruh, you throw money in, it's all these egos, situations, and regulations and all this other shit. Sometimes I just want to be a friend, bro. If you want to invest in something together, you might have to do that with that friend or this group of friends. It's not. It's just because you're cool.
I've been there.
Just because you're cool, you can be successful.
I don't want to lose our relationship as a friend over money because look, it's times. Hey,
and it's like
I got it.
It's a group of 5. The majority of the group wants to do a strip club. One person says, it's a great business model, morally or whatever the fuck. I just don't think it works for this area where you're trying to do it. I'm out. And you can't have a problem with that. It's just like, hey, you got to establish what people are able to do, what people want to do, and what people can do. So this is a deeper conversation to me. It's more nuanced. There's a lot of ways you can look at it. We can chop it up down to where we look at it from a business standpoint. Oh, you want to get together, family, friends, community, whatever. Or you can look at it as just like, hey, I want to do a business with my friends. We started this business together. It's a lot of successful stories, but it's a lot more. It's tons more failures, man.
So final thoughts for the whole episode, y'all.
So yeah, that's it. I mean, you got to let the ego go. You got to you got to have the business plan. That's one of the biggest things. Get it in writing. You're legal. You're a tax entity. You get tax. You're paying taxes or whatever.
Doesn't matter because a woman come involved.
Shit, that's another thing. It's
when a woman comes into it, like okay, boom, we owe you this amount of money, but we got this one woman right here that says this, and then guess what? You don't get your fucking money.
Another thing is outsourcing. It's like, when is it time to bring somebody else in, whether it's advisement or something else? So, I mean, it's a big, deeper conversation. I can go on with that.
Cool, man. It was a great episode, man. So before we go, man, we talk about sports this week. We talk about entertainment. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the greatest sports entertainment business that we have going today, which is
he said wrestling,
which is pro wrestling. It's WrestleMania 40 this weekend. We got some great matches on the card. And
Cody Rhodes.
Just real quick, man.
His own shit.
We've had a lot of great wrestler moments over the years, from The Rock facing Stone Cold 3 times, Shawn Michaels facing Kurt Angle, Undertaker's undefeated streak going up to like 25, 26 wins in a row, Triple H facing Batista and losing the title. It's been a lot of great moments. John Cena and The Rock, the once-in-a-lifetime match that became back-to-back years. And guess what? Speaking of The Rock, he's came back this weekend. So we will get to see him night 1 of WrestleMania Saturday. Then we'll get to see him night 2 with the Bloodline, his cousin Roman Reigns defending the title against who you just said sees Cody Rhodes. So if you're a wrestling fan, tune in this weekend. We got Coco Jones. She's singing the national anthem. So, hey, we got black people all over the place. It's going to be a great weekend to celebrate sports, entertainment, and pro wrestling. So, hey, y'all enjoying it. Was it Ed being Rakim? Peace.
Yeah, we in traffic, man. We'll catch you at the next light, man. I'm back wild.